Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hey, Miko. Happy Sunday, everybody. Y'all got my hand flat twist. I ain't taking it down till I don't know what day. Oh, Tuesday. Tuesday, I'll take my head down. Happy Sunday, everybody. Come on in. Come in. Come in. Make sure you say hey in the comments, like and share on Facebook. Can y'all like and share on Instagram? Miko, can y'all do that? Come in, like and share, like and share. Y'all, ever since I got the second dose, I know I have allergies, but I got that. Why I gotta do that all the time? Hey, Rose, girl. Hey, Rose, where you been? How are you? Hey, Desiree. Hello. Good evening. I think D Bridges is a newbie. Maybe not. I may have seen your name before. But happy Sunday, everybody. I don't know what this vaccine. Hello, Anita. Hey, Phyllis. This in my throat, but I got that spirit. I'm trying to get rid of it, but I've had it ever since Monday. Rose, I haven't seen you traveling. Are you ready to travel again? I know you're ready to cruise. I know you're ready to cruise. But you know, they plan on the cruise ships, Rose. They plan with the cruise ships. So what you gonna do? What you do until cruising opens back up? Rose is a cruiser, and you know, this pandemic has really, is Jamaica sold out? Not yet, Miko. Not yet. So Instagram, Miko is asking us on Instagram, is the Negril sold out? It is not sold out yet. It will go live on to everyone tomorrow. Okay, so if you haven't booked yet, you still have a little bit. Okay, you've been doing road trips. That's cool. Yes, you've been doing road trips. That is cool. But happy Sunday, everybody. I'm a cruiser too, Rose. We are talking today about travel insurance versus travel protection. And y'all, there is a difference. Okay, so before we talk about that, let's go over our trusty church announcements. Hello, Alicia. The first thing is I just said that the Negril trip is not sold out yet. So you still have the opportunity to secure your space. You will be able to go online and book there. If you have questions, please let us know. Now note, I will be traveling this week. Tuesday through Sunday. I will be available all day Wednesday because I don't have meetings on Wednesday, but the rest of the week, if you try to email us, you'll get the autoresponder. But let's see, Tuesday, I probably won't be available at all either. Wednesday, regular hours, I'll be in the office, well, remote office. Thursday, very little availability because I am absolutely, or probably none, unless you text message us. I'll be in class all day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay, so you can email us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. I have a flight on Sunday afternoon, so maybe Sunday morning I can check some responses, some emails, but limited availability in the office this week because I will be traveling for a conference. Okay, and then we have an upcoming launch. Our next launch event is June 23rd through the 26th. Now, this launch is going to be a little bit different because it will encompass more than one trip. Actually, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that we will be launching or relaunching. Some of these trips, the majority of them, are already on our calendar. So we just want to come live, give you full information about them, allow you to ask questions and things like that. We are trying to do a day in Dubai with Lulu. For those of you who are on the fence about booking Dubai, we're trying to get Lulu to come on that Saturday, the 26th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So be on the lookout for that. I'm waiting for her to respond. I'm not sure if she'll be in Mexico or Dubai. So it all depends if she's working or not. So I'm waiting on her response for that. Before we get started on our topic for today, oh, the last thing, July 18th, Sunday, July 18th is our first in-person event, local event since 2019. Yes, because we didn't do anything in 2020 since 2019. We will be having brunch. We are pinning down a place and an exact time. As soon as we get that, it will be added to our website and our calendar, so you will be able to sign up. So Chicagoland, get ready, because although we are open, well, Chicago is completely open back up, a lot of places they still have their own restrictions. And so we're trying to get a place that will allow us to have, up to 20 people in a reservation. And Sunday is like a bad day to call them because they are so busy with brunch. So I'm waiting. I really want to do kind of a suburban thing. I wanted to do downtown. Maybe we'll do a patio style thing, because downtown, after looking at it, although I do have some calls in, that parking downtown is absolutely ridiculous. Like, who's spending $40 to park? But I have a couple of places that I'm talking to that has parking, maybe, about $10. So we will see. But the information will be released as soon as I pinpoint what location we'll be going. But the date is solid, July 18th. We will be doing brunch somewhere in Chicagoland. Okay? So put that on your calendar. We often get the question about travel insurance. We, as you guys know, like a Baptist preacher, we preach travel insurance over here. Like, we preach it. Like, we do not want anyone to travel, whether with ladies and luggage or otherwise, without a travel insurance policy. Okay? You should be purchasing a travel insurance policy right after you purchase a trip. Even if you are going 100 miles or more away from home, travel insurance will cover you. Okay? So, always have a travel insurance policy. But some people will purchase a policy, let's just say from a specific vendor. We can just use a Apple Vacation or something like that. A lot of vendors do have their own policies. Oh, cruise lines have their own policies as well, but you have to read the fine print to make certain that it is a travel insurance policy and not a travel protection policy. There is a difference. So let me read you something that I have here. So travel insurance and travel protection both sound real good, right? But there is a difference. Travel insurance is a regulated product that covers losses that you might face when traveling. These may include, car rental damage, flight delays, lost luggage, medical expenses, and trip cancellation. A typical policy costs between 5 and 7% of the trip total cost. Okay? On the other hand, travel protection is an unregulated product typically offered by a travel company. The most common trip protection plan allows you to waive a cancellation fee if you can't make your trip. Some will allow you to receive credit for the full value of your trip, but no refund. So that is the difference. So, for instance, I know a lot of the cruise lines, they have a travel protection, and it keeps you from having to pay a fee if you need to cancel, but they'll give you a credit for a future cruise, but you do not get a refund. A lot of vendors do that the same way. Like I was giving an example with Apple Vacations. You may purchase a policy directly through them, and if you need to cancel, they're like, oh, okay, well, there's no cancellation fee for you, but your $1,000 that you pay for your trip is on hold for a future travel credit. But please note that even if they allow you to use that, let's just say your package includes a flight from Southwest or American or whatever air carrier, you will not, 9 times out of 10, be able to get the same flight costs when you rebook. So yes, they're going to allow you to use that $1,000 credit, but you're going to probably have to pay more to cover the additional cost it is, that's associated with the raising price of your flight. Now, if it's lower, you'll probably get a credit with the air carrier. And as of now, a lot of carriers have taken away the cancellation fees, but any change fees, they are implementing. So if you need to cancel because of whatever, and let me go back a little bit. Yes, they were taking away those fees. A lot of carriers are re-implementing those now because they feel like as of yesterday, TSA reported 2 million people go through TSA in one day. That's the largest number of people that have been screened in TSA in 18 months, since the beginning of the pandemic. So just know that some of the relaxed fees and or exempt fees will begin to be re-implemented because people are beginning to travel again. So those fees associated is not included in your credit. So if the airline charges a fee to change that booking, you'll get your $1,000 credit on this travel protection plan, but you will still need to pay any differences, if that makes sense to you guys. Okay. So always make sure that you are getting a true travel insurance policy. I know some people like, hey, well, my job, I got insurance at my job and they'll cover me internationally. Great. They will cover you medically. But what happens if your bags are lost when you're on your international trip, or your trip is delayed and you need a hotel stay, or your trip is interrupted and you have to come home for an emergency, or you get to your you have to change planes and something happens and then the entire trip gets canceled. Your work policy ain't covering that, sis. They covering you internationally if you become ill. They are not covering your lost bags. They are not covering a trip cancellation and or interruption. They're not covering if you need to get a flight change because I was injured. They pay for that, and now I have to get back home a week later after my original flight day, and now I need to get back home. They're not covering that. A travel insurance policy will. So yes, the travel insurance policy, will be, the medical portion will be in addition to what you have from your job, but please make sure you are getting a true policy. Some also say, my credit card said that I'm covered. Read again. Most of those credit card policies are travel protection. They are travel protection and not travel insurance. And on top of that, if you contact them, like they say, call us if you have an issue, right? If and when you call them, all they're doing is referring you. You call your travel insurance company, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a concierge. They are going to get you a flight and change it. They are going to find you a hotel. They're going to tell you the nearest hospital that you need to go to. They're going to tell you the nearest dentist or whatever, services that you are looking for. They're going to tell you, okay, you're in the airport. You're stuck in this particular airport. Let us get you a hotel at this airport. They're not going to tell you, oh, Delta got flights. Southwest got flights. This, particular carrier has flights. No, that is what majority of credit cards do. Now, there are some exceptions to that. I know that American Express, they do have travel insurance, and some of the more elite Chase cards like Sapphire card, they will have a true travel insurance policy. But please make sure that you read those policies and see what the maximum and minimum amounts as far as medical coverage is concerned. There are some places now that are requiring. Lanita is on here. They have a group going to Costa Rica soon, and Costa Rica requires that you have travel insurance to enter. They're not asking you, maybe you should. No, it is a requirement for entry. And it has been, in the works for a few other places to begin to make that a requirement as well. And for me, I think it's the best thing for everyone. A lot of people are apprehensive about travel insurance because they're like, I never use it. I don't need it, but it's better to have it and not use it and need it and not have it. Okay. I told this story before about a colleague that was doing some work for us, and she went to South Africa. She was going for a cab, going for her Uber, and was going across the street, stepped off of the curb to go across the street, and a cab went flying past her, and she tried to jump back up to the curb and fell and broke her whole ankle. So guess what? She can't get back on the plane like that. She cannot. And so her travel insurance, her friend that was with her, she gave her all of her information. They quickly jumped in and helped her. She originally went to a public hospital, and they were not giving her the best service. When they found out she had that travel insurance, she was transferred to a private hospital, and everything began to flow. She was able to get someone from home besides her friend that was just traveling with her to come with her to help her out after her surgery. She had to stay for a while after surgery, and all of these expenses were paid for by the travel insurance. Now, a lot of these places will take, yes, I said take, and I think Rashay talked about this yesterday, will take your passport until you pay them. They take your passport until you pay them. Or they're like, okay, you left, but if you come back, you're flagged. You're flagged, and you may end up in the Mexican jail or wherever. You just don't know. You just left these people with didn't pay your bill. And it's not like the United States and they just put it on your credit or whatever, your medical bill on the credit. No, you go somewhere and you don't pay, you skip out on paying, and then you just come back. And it's just, even with a change of planes, and they scan your passport, you can be detained. So travel insurance is important, not protection. Travel insurance. And again, if you cool with just like, okay, I'm just don't want to pay no fee if I have to cancel, go ahead on with the protection. But I strongly suggest always looking into travel insurance, a true policy. Okay. Someone said, you can't put a price on a peace of mind. Get the insurance. Ashley, listen, you cannot put a price on peace of mind, because you absolutely can't. You just never know. You go on vacation to have fun, to tan like me, to just go chill, and then something happens. You break out in hives, or you fall and chip a tooth, or all these things, unfortunately can happen. And you don't have travel insurance. And you're like, oh, my job, yeah. So I implore you guys to look into always having a policy. And I was talking about this the other day. Like I used to really say, hey, if you travel more than 2 times, especially if you're traveling internationally, then think about an annual policy. you will get your money back. Exactly, Tiffany. An annual policy is a good thing, but the only thing about an annual policy is a lot of them have maximum payouts. So typically the ones that I've looked at are like a $5,000 annual payout. So if you buy a policy and you have 5 trips on the books and you want all of those trips covered, the cost of the trips, the amount that you can cover is not the issue. The issue is, let's just say of those 2 trips, 2 of them equal $7,000, and then you have to cancel twice, and that's $7,000. They'll only refund you up to $5,000 per year. So that's why an annual policy may not work for some people. Okay. But again, 5 to 7% of the cost of the trip is what each policy costs. I've seen people pay as little as $60, $80 for a travel insurance policy. And someone asked, what company do I recommend? I personally use AIG, which is also Travel Guard. But there are others. Don't make me think of them right now. I'll get a list and I'll put them in. But I personally use AIG. I think you missed this question. Someone asked, do you travel with a copy of your policy? Most of them, I did miss that. Thanks. Most of the companies will send you a little card and they give you something like you can put on your luggage tag. But I do travel with my card. So I have an annual policy because as travel professionals, they don't allow us to have a trip cancellation. So yeah. So we can't just be like, oh, I'm canceling my trip and then they'll give us money back. So because we'll be doing that all the time. So it's okay for me to get an annual policy because I can't do that anyway. So but I carry my card with me at all times. I was out in these travel streets naked. I just got my annual policy. Ooh, Tanisha, child, listen, I can't do it like every single time. Like we had a friend, we were in Cancun and she literally almost flipped her ATV. And I'm like, girl, did you buy that doggone travel insurance? And she like, no. And then what would have happened had you flipped this ATV over on yourself in Cancun up in the mountains, girl? Things happen. Not that we want them to, but things happen. Even something as little as twisting your ankle, a severe, sprain or something like that. You really can't walk on that. And you need, and listen, we all know when we start traveling to places like Mexico and the Caribbean, they look at U.S. Americans and even Europeans. They look at tourists as rich. Okay, they look at us as rich, and so no matter if it costs $5 for locals, $5 for residents, you better believe it's gonna be $500 for us. So you come in here talking about you got a severe sprained ankle and you need a wrap. The service might cost you $5, but that wrap finna cost you $4.99. $499, and they want their money before they begin wrapping. So the travel insurance is covering that. And when they see that, it's almost like a cha-ching for them because, how do you know what the real cost is? And, I ain't gonna say you don't care, but you handing them that information, your insurance company's information, and letting them handle it. And I know now, Travel Guard, AIG, sometimes they will ask for money up front to even begin services. And so a lot of times, a lot of providers you have to put that money up front and then get monies back. But I know that Travel Guard will do its best. The 9 times out of 10 will pay that deposit for you for them to begin any work if it's a serious matter that you need to have done. Okay. So make sure each time you are traveling, even if it's in the States, 100 miles away from home, my policy covers me. 101 and up. Okay. My policy covers me. Even if my insurance covers me, my travel insurance policy covers me 101 miles and more from my home. Okay. Any questions? A lot of things changed for travel insurance and protection during COVID because they lost protection didn't lose any monies because they weren't giving back any monies. So they actually gained because they weren't giving back. And a lot of people were booking with the Bookits and the Pricelines and companies like that that offered you that travel protection or offer people that travel protection or didn't offer anything. And people just felt like, oh, it's a pandemic. I should be getting my money back because I can't travel. And they're still don't have their money back. Some of those companies, some companies are out of business. We had one company that we had a commission coming from for a trip that we had last March and they went out of business. So that commission is gone. So people who booked with them and was looking to get refunds, they never got refunds because the company just, they filed bankrupt and someone else bought them out during the bankruptcy process. And those people are not obligated to pay any of us anything. So, the company, lost clients and lost their business, but they didn't lose money that they had already taken from people. But if you have travel insurance and you make sure to listen to us and make sure that you add every component of your trip, when you purchase a policy, let's just say you're going with us to Negril. The trip costs $19.99. You go in and you guesstimate that your cost for your flight is going to be $900. You add that. And you see the list that we showed you guys as far as excursions. You're like, okay, well, this excursion going to be like 150. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Add that on there. And you say, you know what? I may come a couple of days earlier. So let me add those extra 2 days. And then, so everything that is going to encompass the cost of your trip, your cost to, your transfers to the airport, all of that, you add that into your cost and you purchase a policy for that full amount. And if you need to cancel, as long as you have receipts for those things, you will get refunded for every component of your trip, provided that you meet the requirements. Because now, if you purchase a cancel for any reason policy, if you purchase a cancel for any reason policy, please note that when you purchase a cancel for any reason policy, you, at this moment, I know the AIG, I'm not sure about other carriers, you only get, it used to be 75% of what you paid out, you get back. Now it's only 50. Okay. So you can purchase a cancel for any reason rider only at the time of the purchase of your policy. You can go back and do it later. And you don't have to have any type of documentation as to why you want to cancel, why you cancel. You can just say, I ain't going no more. And you can get 50% of your monies back. But if you just have a policy and you cancel whatever, each state is different, but they, for instance, when my dad had, we were going to Jamaica and he had to cancel and he had a hernia. They summoned for his doctor's records to make sure that this wasn't something that was, and in Indiana, I think they went back 180 days. Some places it's 365 days. Some places it's 90 days. Each state is different. They have a look back period. So they went back 180 days in his medical records to make sure that this same illness, that he had not experienced it before. Because had he experienced it before, it would not be coverable on his policy. But he had not experienced this before, so it was eligible for refund, and they were refunded all of their monies. So as long as you're eligible for a refund based on the terms of your policy, which you should be reading before you purchase. And even if you purchase, I know with AIG, if you purchase and within so many days you read your policy and you like, oh no, this is bull, I don't want this, you can call them and you can cancel your policy and get your money back. Okay. But there is a look back period. Which would you present first, your personal insurance or your travel insurance? So sometimes the policy will read as such, like you have to use this first before this, but I would always contact my travel insurance policy holder first and give, and let them deal with the whole thing. Okay. Policy holder first. It's crazy how a lot of people do not want it. Karen, a lot of people just say, nope, I'm not getting it. And there's nothing we can do. We do not make or require. We cannot. So this is another thing, going back to our talk from last week about vetting your travel professional. If you encounter a travel professional and they say, I require that you have a travel insurance policy, since they plan with you, because they cannot require that you have a travel insurance policy. We cannot require that you have that. That is an optional only. So that's another red flag. But we always suggest. Well, the majority of us do. We can only suggest that you purchase a policy. Hey, Anaya. We cannot require it. The only time it's required is if the place that we are going to, like if you have a client going to Costa Rica, it's required to enter Costa Rica. So if they don't want to purchase it, they don't want to go to Costa Rica. Find somewhere else to go. Because it ain't me. It's Costa Rica. Okay, it's the destination. But the destination does not require it. We cannot require you to purchase a policy. We offer it to you. We suggest it to you and suggest it to you and suggest it to you. But you don't have to purchase it. Another thing is, if you have any pre-existing conditions, and this is another reason why we send out policy information like right away. Another reason why we have it on the screen when you are purchasing is when you go to our website and you select the trip, you can see the travel insurance link right away before you even purchase. And then after, you'll get an email within a couple of days. If you don't purchase within 12 days of your deposit and you have a pre-existing condition, it will not be covered. So any trip that you purchase, like if you just purchased a grill, you should get an email about travel insurance probably tomorrow, the next day. Make sure, absolutely sure, that if you have pre-existing conditions that may need to be covered while you're traveling, that you purchase a policy right away. Because again, why do they do that? Because they're going to have a look back period. So if something happens to you and you're diabetic, and you say, I can't go because my diabetes X, Y, and Z, well, they're going to have a look back period and say, oh, well, you were diagnosed, a diabetic this many years ago, and we look back, and so you don't qualify for a refund unless you purchased it within a certain window of your deposit. I know some that added into the cost of the. Nope, they're not supposed to do that. I don't know who's saying that. I know some who added to the cost of the trip, then advertise that the trip includes insurance. It should be, if they do it that way, they need to say, they still have to tell you that it's optional and you can remove it. Because doing it that way, it's still saying that it's required, and it's not. And for Negril, we got offering. Yes. Brianna, so you should get, like I said, you should get an email maybe tomorrow or Tuesday about travel insurance. It's the second email that you receive. It's mandatory for people who are over 65. No, it's not. At no point is it mandatory. Nope. At no point is it mandatory. We cannot make it mandatory. Does the insurance we purchased for the Greece trip automatically move forward to the new dates? You need to contact the Travel Guard and give them the new dates. Yeah, just contact them. When you purchase your policy, they give you your policy information and the phone number. Like, we don't have any of that. We make the suggestions, and so we can make sure you guys have the information. That's why we do it that way. But just contact them, give them the new dates, and they'll be able to help you. Any other questions? Any other questions? Oh yeah, I can't see who that person is that said about the some people added to the cost. Nope, they cannot do that. Any other questions, Instagram? Let's see what happens if your bags are lost. And make sure when you're purchasing a policy that you read the terms and conditions. Especially like, let's just for an example, Antoinette is talking about Greece. Greece is a walk. It's like walking. Like, it's a very historic city, a historic destination, and so you got cobblestone streets. You have stairs and stairs, stairs and stairs and stairs, right? So you may want to make sure you purchase a policy with a little bit more medical, because you trip up the stairs, something like that, ankle, you may need to be. So look at those type of things too. If you're going domestically, you may be able to get the lowest policy, because getting home is not as hard as getting home from a Greece or a Dubai. So take those things into consideration as well, because when people ask me about which policy they should get, when we're doing an international trip, I always suggest the deluxe, if you ask, because most people don't ask, but we do get this question sometimes. Which policy should I get? If you are doing international, I always suggest that you get the deluxe, which is the highest package category. But if we're doing a domestic trip and you have work, insurance at work and things like that, then you can get the lowest policy. But when we're doing an international trip, I always suggest the deluxe. Let's see, pre-existing conditions. What would be the best insurance, and how many days should I book when I make? So you have to do it within 12 days of deposit if you have pre-existing conditions. So that's why we make sure, again, so that it's on the page when you book, and then within 2 to 3 days of you booking, you get an email saying, hey, check out this travel insurance. Check out getting a policy. And I'm almost sure, I'm going to go to the email and see. I'm almost sure it says it on there as well. But let me check to be 100% sure. I know that a lot of airlines are now, and I want to say maybe Southwest too, are now offering travel insurance through Travel Guard or AIG. Those are one and the same. So if you're purchasing a flight only, you just purchasing a flight, you're going to visit your mom or kids or whatever somewhere, and you just purchasing a flight because you don't need a hotel. A lot of the airlines are now offering travel insurance through Travel Guard and or AIG. And I've seen it as low as like $7, and it covers. They even have travel insurance for concert tickets through the same vendor, AIG, Travel Guard. But if you are doing, like, just say for instance, I'm looking for this email, y'all. Say for instance, you would purchase the Usher trip. You purchase the Usher trip. You're going to Vegas to see Usher, and you purchase your travel insurance policy, and you included the entire cost, and the ticket cost is included in there, and then something happens, then you would still be able to get your money back outside of, as long as you qualify. But your ticket would be included. But if you were just going and you purchase your ticket on Ticketmaster, they have an option for you to purchase insurance policy on your tickets in case you need to cancel. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna share the screen with you guys to show you this email that you get. Sorry, Instagram, that you guys can't see the video. I mean the shared screen, but here's the email. Just tells you, about the insurance, and then here, if you have pre-existing conditions that need to be covered, you must obtain a policy within 10 days. I know something like that, of making your initial deposit. No exceptions. Okay. So this is the email you get a couple of days after purchasing. Somebody asked, if you don't have pre-existing conditions, is it still within 12 days? No. You can purchase at any time as long as it's before departure. Well, there is a caveat to that. So let's just say you are going to someplace, hurricanes are prevalent, something like that, and you haven't purchased the policy, you're thinking about it, you're waiting, and then tomorrow, it's hurricane season already, and then tomorrow they name a storm. Once a storm is named, once an event is named, you can no longer purchase a policy. So you can't wait until, Hurricane Katrina was named, and then, on Monday, and then Tuesday you say, I'm going to purchase a policy, because I'm going to Florida and Hurricane Katrina is in that path of, my destination. You cannot purchase a policy after that. So if you're going somewhere and you know that it's storm season or something like that, make sure you purchase your policy right away, because again, once the storm is named, you cannot purchase a policy because you're disqualified from getting one. If you are cruising, how is the plan based when you are traveling to the Caribbean? Name each port or no. So if you're purchasing it for a cruise, it'll say when you go on there, it'll say cruise, and you just say where you're porting from, and I think you name the ship and everything, so you don't have to put like where you're going, but just it's a cruise, you're leaving from Miami, and that's it. We actually witnessed we were on the Norwegian. Oh, we were supposed to be going to Cuba, but we ended up to the Bahamas. But we were in the Bahamas. Yes, we were in the Bahamas. Someone got ill on our ship. This person had to be airlifted. Like, they removed all of us. This person had to be airlifted off of the ship and flown back to Key West, Florida, from where we were in the Bahamas. And all I'm saying is, Lord Jesus, let them have travel insurance, because that costs a lot. And they had to be really sick in order for them to airlift them. And we were going to be back in the States the following day. But we literally saw them airlift someone off of our boat in the Bahamas. We were at sea. So we were leaving one port, and we were, and they airlifted this person back to Key West, which was the closest destination to where we were. If you don't have pre-existing, okay, I answered that. Any other questions? Y'all know I try to get y'all a tea, okay? Because travel season is amongst us. Everybody is ready to go. We tired of being in the house. We ready to get it. And so, make sure before you leave that door that you get you some travel insurance to cover yourself. I know that some policies, like every adult, you can add one kid to the policy for free. I know with AIG, if you pay a little bit more, you can add more than one. up to a certain age, but all of those things are in the terms. And so make sure that you're reading those terms before you purchase. But I know that you can have add people onto your policy, children, and then if you know your spouse and things like that. So just read the policy and make sure you're purchasing the right thing that will cover everybody that's traveling. If not, you may need to purchase more than one policy, but just read and it'll give you all of that information before you purchase. If not, you can absolutely always call them. Okay. I believe you mentioned this in the beginning, but I only heard the tail end of it. Are you relaunching or launching additional trips for 2022? So we have some new ones that we are adding for 2022. But we're kind of relaunching some for the end of 2021 and then the beginning part of 2022. And that is going to be June 23rd through the 26th. And we are trying to get on the 26th, which is that Saturday, we're trying to get to do a day in Dubai with Lulu. Is insurance only advisable for international? No, I absolutely advise you to purchase a policy if you're going, because most policies will cover you 101 miles away from home plus. I absolutely suggest that you always have a policy, because even if you have a work policy, travel insurance is just a cushion. You just never know. You know, you can be going to LA and like I said, yes, your job will cover you medically, but what if your bags are lost? What if your trip gets interrupted? You're in LA and you got to go back home tomorrow. And we all know how it is last minute. Airlines, for whatever reason, they have disbanded the bereavement or whatever. So now you got to get back home and it's $2,000 to get back tomorrow because they only have first class, or, you have to rent a car to get back. All of those things can be covered on a travel insurance policy that your medical insurance will not cover because, with your job. Yes, you may, can use your job's medical if something happens to you in travel, but lost bags, trip interruption, all of that is covered by an insurance policy, even domestically. Ashley, I hope I answered your question too. Any other questions? And do not forget, we still have a few spots left open for the second week of our Negril trip, July 15th through the 19th. So you can go check out the website. All the details are there. And if you have questions, to let us know. But do not forget that I will be traveling this week. It's a Hawaii full trip. Not yet. We are probably at around, I think we have maybe about 15 spots left for Hawaii. Around 15 spots. The last I checked, which was a few weeks ago. And I remember a couple of people, so maybe about 15 spots we have left for that. Okay, cool, Ashley. Y'all know that we have Paris coming up in April of 22. We're adding Punta Cana. We have the LA trip. All these trips, we are doing our best to launch on June 26th. Everything will be available. All the newer trips will be available for booking on June 26th. Pray for us. Pray for us. How many slots for South Africa this year? I just did those numbers today. So we got maybe two. Maybe two. Maybe have 2 spots left for South Africa. I'm so excited about that trip. And I know y'all like, ooh, take a black card. but I had never had South Africa on my bucket list. I didn't. And y'all know we take these surveys to heart. And so that was one of the, that had the most number of places that you guys want to go to. I mean, the most number of votes. And so we added that, and now I'm super excited about going. Do you have any trips where kids are included? I know children are going, well, teenagers, depending on how old. I'll put it that way. Depending on how old. I know we have a couple of older teens going with us to ski next year. But other than that, the youngest person that has traveled with us thus far was 21. They might not want to hang out with us, older people. They might not want to hang out with us. My grandson would be like, y'all boring. He be 4. Whatever, little boy. Any other questions? Any other questions, y'all? Before we are done, I will say I probably will go live just to show our accommodations on Tuesday. But after that, y'all, if you don't know, TSP, Traffic Sales and Profit with Lamar Tyler, that is where I will be this week in Atlanta, in class all day for 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Wednesday, I will be available regular business hours to email and things like that. We do have a meeting on Tuesday, the day of arrival that evening. But if y'all know anything about TSP, y'all know that I won't be no good to be answering nothing in between, after, all of that. So, yes, and we're in sessions from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m., 3 days straight. So y'all pray for me for that too. Because it was all the way live last year, and we did it virtually in my office. I was in this office locked in for 12 hours a day. So being in the building live this year is, I'm excited about it, but I already know that I'm, if I try to say, okay, I'll be able to answer Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, then I'm not being truthful, because yes. And then they do after parties, but they don't know me very well, clearly, because I go to bed. So I don't know about I don't think I'm doing no after parties. Because, sessions over at 8, you mingle and you talk until 9, 9:30, maybe even 10. And then they like, after that, then, they have sessions. And then after that, the people like, yeah, we still going. No. I go to bed. I'm sorry. And then it's already on Eastern time, so it's an hour ahead of my regular time anyway. Nope, I'm going to bed. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, Lamar. Sorry, Brandy. Sorry, Shanteria. She go to bed too, though. But if there are no additional questions, I definitely will see y'all on Tuesday at check-in to show you guys our lodging while we're in Atlanta, Buckhead area. If I get a chance to go live or chat live anytime between then and my return home on Sunday evening, I absolutely will. But until then, later.